Welcome to the WoodsTalk podcast. Welcome to the WoodsTalk podcast, everybody, with me, Rory Woods, looking like a lesbian Dragon Ball Z fucking cast member. And I'm joined with Mickey Bartlett, Mickey of House Bartlett. Namaste, ba.
Fucking namaste, whoever he is. What's the fucking crack?
Fuck all, sir. How you keeping? How's things?
Grandma just came back from, just went out for a 3-course meal. Went out and hugged a load of strangers. Tongue kissed somebody I'd never met before. Had unprotected sex. Went in the theatre, picked up something, went, no, I don't want that, put it back, didn't worry about it, just had a great day.
What do you reckon is the first thing you're doing when we get out of lockdown in 2028? What are you going straight to do?
Going to go to the beach and not get fined for
it. Yeah. I have to say, everybody's got
I'm going to walk the exactly 10 miles from my house and no further, and then go, nah, I like it now.
That sounds like a fucking
come
plan.
to me.
I have to say, like, do you think everybody's like post-lockdown plans are just really boring, where they're like, I can't wait to sit and chat to my mates and have beers? And you're like, man, we've been in the house for a year. Think of something.
Aye.
Do extreme ironing and on a cliff or something. Do some shit.
Well, I know. There's things I'd love to go like paintballing and go karting at the same time, but I mean at the same fucking time.
Oh, for sure, man. That'd be amazing.
Just fall, like, I don't know, because I think it's kind of. I think like a full year of your plans being dashed. I think everybody is just beaten down. It is like being in jail. Like I've been reading fucking the Guildford Four's autobiographies, and I'm like, yeah, I get it, man.
See what you mean?
Like, 15 years, 1 year, I get it, man. I didn't do anything either.
Yeah. My big fear is that, like, you know, like a week after the lockdowns like all the restrictions are gone in their entirety, that sort of you'll go mad for a weekend, and then the following weekend you'd be like, well, we just stay in. That's my fear. I'm like, you can't stay in ever again. You can't do it.
Well, that was like when they kind of relaxed at the end of last year, I was like, went fucking buck daft. Like I was staying in a hotel every week.
Yeah, because
like,
we did
just getting drunk in a Premier Inn on my own.
Yeah.
Like,
that sounds amazing. Because we did
class.
Wasn't that, well, we did Colin's office gig and all around and stuff, didn't we?
Right.
So, which feels like about a decade ago, man. That's fucking crazy.
Well, that was July, was it? August?
Fuck, I don't even know. It was when the restrictions first lifted, because it was the first time we could have got away with it. And even at that, I think we just about legally got away with it, I believe.
I know we ended up, like, the whole crowd of us, well, not even a crowd, like, we got really drunk at that and then went out.
I just went out,
because it was one of those, like, but there was a couple of times last year we were sitting, like, my ex-girlfriend and her dad, we went for, like, there was a bar in Bangor that was selling, like, takeaway pints.
Yeah.
And nobody was shouting at you for drinking, like, on Bangor Pier.
Yeah.
And we were standing in fucking raincoats, right? Pissing down, freezing, drinking pints, going, this is brilliant. Just because it was a pint.
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely... When I'm talking to my parents right now, like we're in jail together, I'm like, what are you going to do when you get out? I'm going to marry my gal.
I suppose you're out doing workouts in the garden and stuff like that there, and that's every prison movie. There's always a weight track and there's some who are lifting.
I swear to fuck, like I've lost a stone, but I'm starting to look like I'm doing prison workouts. Like I'm just all like the 4 big muscle groups and then fat as fuck. Like,
yeah, man, it's fucking. Is that
just laying in my bedroom all day, just throwing a fucking slither against the wall and catching it.
Just a butternut squash, fucking. You have to make it fucking creative, because that's the thing, man. I wish I was a bit more creative at the minute, because even like over the weekend there, obviously we had a bit of good weather, and usually like pre-lockdown, you know, that would be time where you're like, this reminds me of the time we went down to fucking Donegal for the weekend, or remember we were in Spain and there was fucking fierce heat.
Aye.
Whereas now I've got that boring where I was just like, this is like, do you remember when the lockdown first came in? It was warm then as well. That's all I could muster. Is going to remember that.
At the start of it, when lockdown first came in, you were just going, this is great. This is great. Why would you go back to work? This is great.
Yeah.
I can't fucking... I'm so sick of it. Like, it's one of those things where you, like, I don't know if you found this with doing podcasts, but the amount of times people messaging your podcast and being like, thanks for getting me through lockdown, man. You really helped. And you're like, how bad is it for
Yeah.
you that this is the
Oh,
best
yeah.
thing you haven't, you sort of like,
Yeah, I got a few people, like, and I was very flattered, particularly like Christmas, those Spotify Wrapped and stuff like that there. And I was going, how does me discussing the best technique for a boiled egg really save your
I,
lockdown? I'm like, should you start it in the cold water or should you wait till the water's boiling, bit of salt, and then put on the egg? Do you know what I mean? Like live pounding
that's another thing. Like, I've got that point. I now make the best scrambled eggs in the world.
in the world. Oh, for sure.
Like, because there is nothing else to do. Like, like I'm taking 20 minutes to make scrambled eggs now just because I'm like, fuck it, I'm doing
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, you're milking the cow and everything, and
Yeah, just full blown, like bringing the chicken up
the fucking hatch,
from
would you?
birth.
Dilated, are you? Fucker.
Just shooing done. Shoo, cats, fire. You're all right, mate.
Water birth?
One
No
egg.
bother. No bother. Straight in the sink. Man,
Bringing up wee baby loaves for toasting off. Come on.
I tell you what, I wish that, I don't even find this from your man and dad, but the worst phrase, this was a phrase I hated anyway before lockdown, but now it's kind of reiterated on a daily basis. Don't mind. See that phrase, don't mind, can go fuck itself. And when you go, what do you want to watch on TV? Don't mind. That's all I'm getting. So I go, what do you want to watch? Don't mind. But they do know what they want to watch. They just don't want to say it. So you're like, what do you want to watch? Oh, don't mind anything really. What about fucking First Dates leprosy special? Nah. What about Green Mile? Nah. And then you kind of, what do you want for dinner? Don't mind. Chinese? Nah.
I've developed this thing where I've got like, there's a wee man in my head that is genuine. It's not me, but there's a genuine angry suicidal man in my head.
Oh.
So when I'm going like, what do you want for dinner? And they go, oh, do you want to just get a Chinese? And they go, well, I had a Chinese last week. My internal monologue goes, I'll kill myself if he's got a Chinese last week.
Yeah.
I know there was just like, because I moved home. I think I've been home 3 years now. But the first 2 years I wasn't really home because I was traveling with gigs.
Yeah.
So it just didn't make any sense for me to rent a house.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like able to buy one because I was fucking spending money on cocaine and booze. Trying to lose weight. But there was a thing where like every single morning my mom would go, so what's your plans for the day? And I used to get angry knowing it was coming.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Right?
Oh.
But she still does it.
Oh,
And I'm like, you know what my plans are?
yeah.
I'm going to drink this cup of tea, then I'm going to go back into my bedroom like a 14-year-old boy, pull my belly off myself. And then I'll see you around tea time.
Oh. There's definitely something about the parents' vibe. I know that, like, and I can't remember if I told you, like, our flat flooded a good couple of months ago, and it only got fixed at the end of January. So it flooded in August last year. It got fixed in January, as you do. So during the whole thing, again, this is a testament where it was like, my ma was like, so why don't you come down? Because you're working from home anyway. We've got Wi-Fi. You could come down here and stay in Strabane. And I was just like, even in a flooded flat, do you know what I mean? Walking about like I'm in total wipeout. I'm just going, nah, you're grand, because I don't fancy using a fucking sundial to tell the time. You know,
Well, I swear to God, I'm in a stage now where like I was looking for flats. Now, why I was looking for them, I don't know, because I don't have any fucking money because I have no work.
Yeah.
But there was a couple of I was going, right, what can I afford to spend a month on rent? And I was looking at what, and I was like, that's a fucking hovel. But it was still like, I'll take a haunted house at this point. Like if I moved in somewhere and a voice went, get out, I'd be like, finally somebody else to talk to.
You just appreciate the love.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I'd be there going, what do you want to watch on Netflix on a Ouija board? Like, yeah, glass spelling out Louis Theroux, but again?
The Witcher? No bother. All right. Henry Cavill.
I don't understand the first time round. Let's see. Fucking.
Oh, like, I mean, my poor ma, she just kept going.
I'm sorry, just thinking of the ghost being like, what if the Snyder cut? Like, thank fuck, 4 hours. I don't have to talk to you, you fucking ghosty fuck.
Let's rewatch The Lord of the Rings, will we?
Fall out with it within an hour.
What do you want for dinner? Don't mind. Like, oh,
fuck!
Flip the board. Man,
just start blasting the wall. Get out the fuck.
That plasma better be yours. Fucking dick. Oh, mate.
Why is there why is there ectoplasm in my pajamas?
It's like in Ghostbusters, like he starts fucking getting his dick sucked in the middle of fucking, when he's Dan Aykroyd sleeping, and you just see the fuck's sake, man. It's, like everything is just exhausted now, isn't it? We're like, I feel like I'm being so miserable and ruining the vibe even now, but it's like I can't. There's nothing to watch. There's nothing to do. There's nothing. I can't even listen. I'm backtracking with everything I'm even listening to. Where I'm like, I might listen to fucking Razorlight today because I don't even like them.
Doors Down.
Oh yeah.
I was listening to the angry music I listened to when I was 14, just to feel something.
You hear the ghost listening to Stained.
Just sitting there. Yeah.
I'm on the outside.
It's been a while
since I could.
I like, even as well, looking at my bedroom and the amount of field hobbies throughout lockdown, I'm just like, this is getting me on a fucking joke, man.
Yeah, the projects that never came to be, fuck's sake.
Rollerblades, guitars, fucking
ventriloquist dummy.
I swear to God, blow up doll with no pump. I'll do it myself.
Fuck's sake, man. It's fucking tough going. Like, everything's just fucking exhausted, and it's really hard to come up with anything, you know what I mean? And then when you do come up with something, you go, do you want to do this? Don't mind. And you're like, I tried for days to come up with the idea of pairing our socks, do you know what I mean? Or do our CVs.
But yeah, the things that I've done, even like, again, just out of fuck it, like, I like just fucking bleached the windows, like took all this fucking, like all this anti-mold stuff. I was like, I'm just going to do all the window frames in the house.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, I didn't even know that was. I didn't even know there was a spray for that. I just found it and went, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, getting all I haven't washed my balls in 6 weeks.
You sort of have to stagger things, don't you? You're like, I could wash the scrot in about 6 months, get the cheese grater.
That's the thing. I think that's the one thing about like being a full-time stand-up is I'm kind of used to, like saving shit up. Like, oh, that car's stinking Thursday. Do you know what I mean? Like a week, like Thursday. That's the day I'm going to hoover the car.
Yeah.
But because you can end up, you can get really productive one morning and do your week's worth of shit, and then you're like,
yeah,
what would I do? Because I can't go back to drinking the way I drank in the first lockdown. I was hitting it 4 days a week. Like,
enough.
Fucking, because the thing was, because my dad was off as well, so he likes to drink. So the two of us just like, what else we want to do?
Yeah.
But then I developed this like like I can drink anyway, but it was like a superhuman tolerance.
Yeah.
Where like I could drink, I was drinking 3 bottles of wine and being like, I'm fine.
I'm spot on.
Like, couldn't remember it.
Oh, definitely,
you know what I mean?
Definitely not.
I couldn't remember a fucking thing. But everybody was like, you're grand.
Yeah.
I just put on a stone and a half, and I'm like, I don't have the room to maneuver.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I can't even like hack 2 beers anymore, man. But like, if I had 2 beers, I wouldn't be hungover the next day, but I'd have like a haze, like the haze in your head. I wouldn't feel great, and I'm just like, is it worth being hungover in the place that you were previously drunk in? Like, no one ever. There's something about that.
Exactly, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fucking. It's like going back to Witherspoon for breakfast the next day, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I go back? Can I have my wallet, please? Thank you. There's my jeans. Sweet.
And also, my hangovers are the same as COVID symptoms now. I'm like, I can't taste anything. I can't breathe. It's in the house. It's in the house.
Yeah. The worst thing for me, honestly, I mean, I've been thinking about it in terms of the hangover now. I would take a sore head. I would take the boke instead of just getting what I get now, which is the guilt, man. Like, shocking, near, like, stick my head in a well preheated oven sort of guilt where I'm like, you shouldn't have spent that much money, even though I'm spending money on fuck all else. Do you know what I mean? Going, you shouldn't have spent that, and Jesus, you haven't still got that cream for a Veruca, and like, you just dwell on everything that you haven't done. And just sitting there.
We did that fucking Agony Hour podcast, me and Keezy, and I got so fucking drunk on the first one.
Yeah.
Because it was like, it felt like we were going out. I don't mean as in everyone get gay married. But I like was fully fucking, the two of us were like all like dressed up for going to the pub. Like, this is fucking. And I drank like somebody was going to steal the booze off me. I was just fucking. And I got home because one of the guy that does the video for us like drove me home. Got to the house, do you know, like, remember that test when you were younger, like, of getting your key in the front door?
Oh, yeah.
So I got the key in from about a meter away, like, just fucking, like, I almost fell and then got the key in straight away. And I went, fuck, you all right? And my dad was sitting up and he was like, "Do you want a glass of wine?" I was like, "Oh, fuck it." And it was the next day. I remember getting the key in the door and talking to my dad, but I don't remember doing the podcast and I don't remember going to bed.
Yeah.
There was like an 8 hour window, and all I can remember is getting the key in the door.
Yeah. Fuck.
And the next day, I was just like, I was in fucking bits. And I text Casey, and he was like, Connor Casey was like, only you could go out and get drunk, only see 2 people, and still think you did something wrong.
Yeah, that's true. Though, fucking hell.
like,
Oh man.
like, did I go on these two or what? Like, what the fucking?
Fuck, man. How's that whole agony hour thing going? Because that's a fairly recent thing to texture in arms, isn't it?
Do you know what? It got out of hand real quick.
I'd say so, because everybody's too keen to speak now because of this situation. Everybody's keen to.
It's not even that. It was like, so the first one, nobody really knew what was going on. I got wankered, but it was good crack. The second one was a good laugh. And the third one was my birthday. So me and Connor were both like fucking absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
And then come the fourth week, people watching it were like, "Oh, this must be like Jackass. Like you can make them do things."
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So like, I think what happened in the first week, somebody phoned in and just went, "Little bit of the bubbly," like from your wedding.
Yeah.
So I fucking smashed a pint of gin. That it was just free pouring and topping up, so it was pretty much just gin.
Yeah.
And then I bought a bottle of fucking Prosecco for the birthday once, so somebody shot, and then all of a sudden, me and Connor drank a bottle of Prosecco in fucking 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then every week, it was just people phoning. And then we didn't realize there was a chat room where the fuckers were like teaming up.
Right.
So they were like, somebody phone in and pretend you've got a dildo in your ass and see. And it got to this point where, like, not that I'm talking about anybody that listens to our podcast, but there was a point where it was like, I don't want to say muggles, right? But we'll say civilians.
Yeah.
Were phoning in trying to be funny to 2 comedians, and you're like, have you any idea how much crack you suck out of a room when you try and do that? Like,
oh,
do you remember like when you'd be at a gig and somebody goes, "Here's one for you," and you're like, "I know it's going to start with 2 packies. I know this is going to be racist, misogynist, homophobic. It's going to be something disgusting with absolutely no punchline, and I'm going to have to stand there being like,
yeah." I
think the agony hour turned into those cunts phoning me.
Oh, fuck, man. That sounds painful. I think, like, even in terms of, like, stand-up, there's been a few instances where there's someone drunk enough in the crowd to go, "I could fucking do that," and then the odd time the act would go, "Fucking take the mic and tell the joke," and it always died. I've never seen an exception to that. Like, I seen it happen to Magic George in the Mandela years ago when I first started doing it. What do you call it? Rag Week? Queen's Rag Week or something like that. Did that. Some girl wrote right, and then she was just like, I know a joke, and George was like, "No, brother, landlord," or whatever the fuck he said. "Take this flag in the mail." She gets up and tells some fucking reject from a penguin joke, and then there was just a silence, and then just someone shouted, "Hang yourself, you cunt," from the crowd. It's one of my favorite things. It was like me and Kieran and Darren Matthew here's, "Hang yourself, you cunt," and I was just like, this is the best thing ever.
That's one thing that, like, I would never ever be like, "Oh, you think you're funny? Get up here."
Because what if they
I've heard people talk about it, and I'm like, I would never, because I think there's a certain thing. If somebody's aggressively heckling, it does become a fight.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And if you go have a go, that's like going free dig, and then they're going to kick in the balls.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know, like, I would. That makes. Oh fuck! There's nothing worse than just. And poor George would get the worst. Whatever it was about his act, drunk women would just be like, because obviously he's a kid's entertainer, so I don't know if for some reason a group of drunk women become 7-year-olds mentally.
Yeah. Because
he would do things like cut up a teddy bear, and they would go, "Oh, no,
don't do that.
Is that the teddy bear? It's down the back of the sofa. Put it back together." Like, yeah, fucking hell. What's the worst heckle you ever had?
I did. Somebody asked me this recently. I actually don't get them a while lot. I got, like, when I was starting out, more so down south, it was like just Harry Potter and things like that. The last time I was in Dublin, though, I did Whelan's, and this isn't like, it was just more confusing. But this guy just screamed, like, and it wasn't even packed crowd, and he just went, "Your neck doesn't suit you." And I was like, and then ever since, like, I've been going, like, he said it in the way as like, "Get a fucking new neck, would you? How could you leave the house looking like that, with a neck like that?" And you just go, "What do you want? Go to Next?" Do you know what I mean? And then because like it made me very self-conscious then about the old neck.
But I'm looking at it now. It's not. It does suit you.
I think I did all right with it.
I don't even have a neck. Like I have a belly and then a head.
You're a Pez machine or something.
I look like that guy in Total Recall where he lifts his top up.
Man, see the audio commentary to Total Recall is the best thing in the world. Have you ever listened to it on YouTube?
No.
It's Arnie doing
That's
it.
right up my street.
But it's just proper like say what you see catchphrase where it's like, here I am and I'm running through because Michael Ironside's character is trying to catch me. It's just like, it just keeps saying, it doesn't offer anything critical. He doesn't say any behind the scenes trivia. He just goes, here I am wearing trousers and I'm running because they believe that I am this other person. And just like, we know that.
I watched fucking Commando.
Oh, it's great, mate.
Right, which I think is the best Arnie movie. It's the quintessential Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Oh, why?
Because I think it has more. It might have more fucking Arnie lines than any other.
It's for sure. It's up there with quotability.
Like, we come to an agreement, right? Wrong. Like, like, stay downwind. What, do you think I can smell them coming? I did. Like,
that's right.
And there's a brilliant thing on YouTube as well. And it's like, do the bit at the end where he throws the pipe into the guy's stomach.
Yeah.
And he's like, let us some steam, Bennett. But there's like a line-o-rama of him doing all these different ones where he's like, pipe down, Bennett, stick around, Bennett. Like, it goes on for fucking ages.
Yeah.
But there's a bit of it where like Joe right at the start when his fucking daughter brings him a sandwich, right?
Yeah.
And he's like reading a magazine. And he goes, why don't they just call him Girl George? He would save all the confusion, I think. And then he takes a bite of the sandwich. He's like, what's in this? Right? And the more and more I've watched him speak on like social media, I think he improvised that scene. Like, I think somebody was like, Arnie, just go for it. And he was like, Girl George.
Whose line is it anyway? He's fucking... There's been nobody like him, like in terms of action stars.
I love the idea of him like getting ready for a scene. Like, come on, Ali, you can do this. You can do it. Action. It was great, Arnold. That was great. Can we do it again, just faster? Okay, action.
I'm pregnant. That'd be my third trimester.
Like, you know what? I think Commando as well. I used to fucking work with this guy when I was still a student, and we both loved it. Like, we fucking loved Commando.
Oh, it's amazing.
But there's a bit, and nobody ever. It took me years before I noticed it. Like, I've seen that movie fucking 300 times. Like,
yeah.
But in the final fight with Bennett, so like Bennett shoots Arnie, and he comes out. He's like, "You don't need the gun, Bennett. There's a knife, right?" And he's Bennett's going. He's going, "I don't need the gun, John. I don't need that gun." Right. And you're looking at a fat guy with a beer belly and a string vest going, you do. Right? But then they have this proper fucking, like, for anybody at home who hasn't seen it, have this proper hand-to-hand, like fist fight. And the entire time, Bennett has a better gun, like, round his shoulder. So he throws away a handgun, but he's fighting with a machine gun beside him. You're going, you cheating fuck.
You dirty bastard.
Because right at the end, he's like, pulls out another gun. You're like, oh, fuck, here we go. I get a sore head. I love that movie.
It's fucking... I think Commando's up there, and I think in terms of like the ones that are underappreciated, even though people still love them, True Lies and The Last Action Hero. I think they're the
Last
two.
Action Hero, another fucking belter.
It's a fucking belt, and like, to be fair, I mean, as shite as it is, you have to enjoy them in Batman and Robin. You just have to, because it's just so fucking dumb.
It's cool down. Nice to see you, Batman.
So, when Bane lands in with his outfit, a laundry service that delivers. Wow. I want to see him do commentary for other films, because he's just sitting there with a mic and just explaining, so Bruce Willis is actually dead the whole time. And I think Kevin Spacey is Kaiser Soze for sure.
The little girl's head is turning around.
What a twist.
Possessed by the devil.
Will and Martin are bad boys.
The girl is in the tent and she is very scared.
Shrek does not know Fiona is an ogre.
I love the story, Jimmy. Like, the story like Sylvester Stallone told about stopping my mum will shoot.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Where like him and Arnie had such a rivalry in the 80s and 90s that basically Arnold Schwarzenegger pretended he wanted to do Stop My Mum Will Shoot, so
yeah.
Sylvester Stallone did it, and he was like, "Ah, I got you."
Psych, you can't.
He's like, "Sylvester, what is this?"
Fuck it. Yeah, they were like serious rivals, and like I speak to a lot of my mates who are into both of them and debate who's the better one. I personally don't know, but I think Arnie's done less shite than Stallone. I'd say maybe that's a bit of a statement, but Stallone's done a few serious clangers in his day, whereas Arnie's, even the stuff that didn't even do that great.
But then Stallone's done better gold, like Rocky and the first Rambo.
Yeah, First Blood, Rocky, and then like obviously because Creed and all now is kind of
Aye,
added serious meat to that franchise. But I think like even like Arnie's lesser appreciated stuff is still like, have you ever seen like Eraser, Sixth Day? Have you seen any of those?
Eraser's amazing.
Eraser's
Fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's really fucking good, but nobody ever really speaks about it. I love Twins, man. I can't lie to you. I fucking love.
You know what? I've never seen Twins.
Have you not, mate?
Never seen Twins. I know.
There's talk of a sequel with Eddie Murphy as the third brother.
Fucking class.
Yeah. So apparently it's like DeVito talked about it on Graham Norton and just saying, we've spoken to Eddie and there's a script being developed and stuff, because you know the original premise, that they're just long lost brothers from a scientific experiment. So obviously Arnie gets all the good qualities and DeVito doesn't, basically. And then like Arnie goes to find him and he's like, Julius, I missed you. we are brothers. Mate, you have to watch it now. Oh man, it's that's great.
Somebody sent me a photo the other day of like, there's a scene in Twins where they're wearing the same suit and they've got jackets around their shoulders.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, that's what my balls look like. Like there's like one big strong fucking Mr. Universe one, and then wee Danny on the left.
This one's over here directing Matilda.
I only shaved the left one as well. But I read a thing the other day that apparently there's talk of Face Off too.
Yeah, there is indeed. Any film.
I am going to fucking go insane if that movie gets made.
Mate, I think it would be just ridiculous if it happens. But I think everything's getting a sequel now. So is it going to be the original cast?
Apparently, I don't know how the fuck they would do it, but there's like Travolta and Nicolas Cage have both been like, fuck it.
Yeah, but they're doing
like
anything these days. So.
But I just love like, see when you watch Face Off back, right?
Yeah.
I never noticed it for years until it was like, I mean, it might have been a year, like 2 years ago, where I watched it back and I was like, holy shit, John Travolta does a really good Nicolas Cage.
He does. It's believable.
Like when he's doing it like fucking mad eyes and all. Like,
I think like wouldn't it be great if that happened in real life and Cage was basically in Pulp Fiction. Quarter pounder with cheese.
With cheese.
Night fever. Yeah.
You are. What do I want? Shoo up a doobie doo.
Kinnicky. Oh mate,
I always love like. I always try to do the impression, but I can't do it properly. But there's a scene in The Rock.
Oh, what a film!
Where like Nicolas Cage is like, I was doing my best, and Sean Connery's like, your best. Losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen. And then Nick Cage just goes, Carla was the prom queen. I'm like, yeah!
I think my favourite line of his, and again, it's not wild funny, but it's just something about, he like delivers it as if like, this will get me an Oscar, is Con Air when Malkovich cops on who Cage is, and he's rooting around his personal effects, and he lifts like the wee teddy bear bunny thing that he's bought for his daughter, and he's all, put the Bernie back in the box.
Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box? There's a scene I actually watched Gone in 60 Seconds a few nights ago as well, and I remember I was going out with a girl, and that movie came out like 1999 or something like that.
Something like that.
So it was like 2009, 10 years later, we were watching it, and there's a bit where he Memphis Reigns, he takes his old like car stealing jacket out of a box and like flicks the dust off it, just goes, I am a bad man. And this girl used to be like, fuck, I'd read the life out of him. And I was like, what? Nicholas Cage.
Fucking, I have to say, the only thing that stuck with me with Gone 60 Seconds when I first watched it was Memphis Reigns has to be one of the best names of a character of all time. It's like that. And then, have you ever seen Pacific Rim? Have you ever seen that film?
No, actually, not yet.
It's actually quite good. It's fucking stupid, but it's good. But Idris Elba is in it, and his his character name is Stacker Pentecost.
That's amazing.
It's like Expendables sort of level of name, because all the Expendables is like, what do you call about Randy? Is it Couture?
Couture,
yeah. His name is Toll Road, and then Terry Crews is Hail Caesar, and
yeah,
do you know what I mean? There's all these fucking. I think Lee Christmas is Jason Statham. Lee Christmas, Lloyd Christmas is Jim Carrey.
Like Demolition Man. That's another great name. Like fucking John Spartan.
John Spartan, oh, John Spartan and Simon Phoenix with Snipes.
Yeah.
Oh, tell me.
I'd love to be in an action movie, even just to be in the background. Like, fuck me.
Oh, that'd be great. I mean, like, see when you go back and watch some of them, like if you've rewatched Demolition Man recently, Jack Black's in it. Jack Black's one of Dennis Leary's people.
Yes, that's like he's literally just in it for like.
Yeah.
I watched Goodfellas recently, and the amount of cast members of Sopranos that are just in the background.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like big pussies putting coats away. Like you're like, oh, there he is.
Yeah. I didn't even realize, you know, like Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine is an Iron Man. He's in at the start, you know, when he breaks out in the first suit, the big mad Iron one, big silver one. Tom Morello's one of the people with the guns at the front. And I was like, oh, it's fucking Tom Morello.
Hey, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
didn't even fucking cop on.
There was Daniel Craig was in the Star Wars Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. Was he a stormtrooper or something, wasn't
he? Yeah, so do you know the bit where she's like Rey's fucking clamped into the chair? And she uses the Jedi mind trick for the first time.
Oh,
that's Daniel. Now I don't know if it's him in the suit or if it's just his voice.
Yeah.
But he's like, I will leave the door unlocked and fucking leave my gun here.
Yeah.
That's that. No?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. A trivia Newton John here. What the fuck?
Check out the big brain on bread.
Oh, see, I had a fucking thing in my mind there about fucking lines from films that are like just so fucking stupid. It'll come back to me anyway. But Demolition Man has to be one of Stallone's top 5, man, for me. Has to untouchable.
Do you know what? Like, I was watching Demolition Man again pretty recently, and there's so much of it where I'm like, that sounds like COVID.
Yeah.
Like nobody's shaking hands or all this weird shit.
Yeah. No bucking.
Like
no
bucking. Fucking like. Nobody's eating meat. Like, well, oh no.
This is rat burger. You see, Stallone's wee terms for fucking. You know, like he tries it on with Sandra Bullock, and she's got like the VR headset on her, and he's like, "Well, I thought we were gonna." What was it?
It's the belly button mambo or something.
The hunka chunka.
The hunka chunka.
The hunka chunka, but it's not even that funny until Stallone, the hunka chunka. You know, hit
the one in the middle.
Yeah. Or was it the Beast with Two Backs or something as well? Was another one? Oh mate,
that's a Shakespeare one, is it not? The Beast with Two Backs?
It could be.
How the fuck do I know that?
It's fucking Shakespearean. I have to say, speaking of Snipes, man, did you see the Coming to America sequel?
No.
He's in that, man, and it's very fucking good.
I hear it's fucking dreadful.
But I like it because I like Eddie Murphy. But if you were to the neutral, you probably wouldn't like it a while lot, to be honest. I suppose it's trying to just, again, like the Face Off sequel could be shite because sometimes
it will be shite. Like,
yeah, they leave it too long. Sometimes I can only think of like maybe Trainspotting 2 and like the Blade Runner sequel that had like real longevity between films, whereas like sometimes people stop giving a shit and they're making sequels to fucking sequels and remakes, because apparently they're remaking the Blues Brothers with an all-female cast. That's been sort of semi-announced. I don't know who's doing that. And then they're sort of remaking films now and calling them different things. So they had like, was it Anne Hathaway and was it Rebel Wilson and they did this like film, but it was basically Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, you know, with Michael Caine and Steve Martin.
Aye.
They remade that and just called it something different, and like, you sneaky
Oh,
bastards.
why? Yeah.
Yeah. And then Tracy Morgan did What Men Want, which is the reverse of What Women Want with Mel Gibson. And you're like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, it's just fucking laziness. Like,
yeah, and you can understand
apparently they're remaking Braveheart with Melissa McCarthy. I made that up.
You'd watch it though.
You would watch it. It's crazy. I was reading something recently about like just how sort of movies have had to go. Like the reason why, like outside the Marvel universe, but any sort of comic book, or even Pacific Rim, basically most movies are being bought by fucking Chinese audiences. Because there's so many of them. That's why they're making loads of Godzilla versus King Kong and all this stuff. You kind of like, we get it, special effects is class now, but any chance we could just have a fucking decent movie?
Yeah, I think like you're right. I mean, and obviously now they're just going to churn out these fucking big things. So at the minute, isn't it Godzilla versus Kong? And then apparently there's like 4 or 5 sequels lined up. So I'm like, who the fuck is he tangling with in the fourth one? Tracy Baker? What the fuck's going on there?
But it's that stupid shit too of like, and everybody copied the Marvel universe where like, do you remember that they were trying to bring out that monster series? So that it started with like Dracula Untold.
Yeah.
That was supposed to tie in with the Mummy. They were supposed to be like the Invisible Man and...
Yeah, Russell Crowe was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in the Mummy film.
Yeah.
And you're like...
There's going to be all this fucking like... And then they ended up making Invisible Man anyway. Just went, make it a horror, fuck it. Like...
Yeah. It's fucking... Like it's... They're sneakily trying to do it. I mean, like that Wild Mountain Thyme, that's definitely a 50 Shades, Mary Poppins Returns, fucking...
Aye.
Mad Men fucking crossover, do you know what I mean? With all those cunts in it, like fucking Deer Hunter. The whole shebang.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I'm down to say, like, I'm trying to... What did I hear that was coming out of them? Is there... Top Gun 2, there's another example of...
Yeah.
This is going to suck.
It does, like, I hate when people say, the trailer looks good. I'm like, yeah, it's supposed to. That's the idea.
Exactly.
It's supposed to make
like the trailer for Independence Day 2. Look, that's the perfect example.
Yeah.
Independence Day 2 was set up as the first half of 2 movies.
Yeah.
And you were like, why in the name of fuck did you just make this?
Yeah. Stupid, like.
Such an utter pile of shite, like.
Yeah. I have to be totally honest though. Like, I'm not a massive Will Smith guy, if I'm being totally honest. So I wasn't even that keen in the original, but these sequels are pumped out. I mean, like the Top Gun one, Val Kilmer can't speak anymore. So what the fuck's he gonna do in it? He's got like serious...
Is he in it? Is he even going to be in it?
Apparently he is in it, yeah. Apparently he's got like a small role, or he's going to be like homage, but like it's weird that like at one point, even if he's not in it, you know, they probably should bring him back, but he can't speak anymore. Like he's totally fucked. So I think...
is he?
Yeah, he can't speak anymore. It's like throat cancer or something, but he was in Jay and Silent Bob reboot, and he's just in it, but he can't really speak anymore, and he's really frail, and he's like small now. Considering this guy was Batman at one point, you're like... Holy fuck, like he's in bad nick, like. But I think your man Miles Teller's playing the character, his son's character. I've only seen Top Gun once, but yeah, but it's fucking, again, it does look good, but again, the trailer's supposed to fucking look good. Apart from that Ghostbusters remake, most trailers are dead on, to be honest. Like.
I think Creed, they've done a great job with that.
Creed's
but then I mean, it is just Rocky again, like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like Southpaw is just Rocky again, or any boxing movie is just fucking as Rocky again.
Oh, 100%. Like even like they just do like wee twists on it where it's like the person fighting has a tie to either the person he's fighting or to the person who's coaching him. So it's like Warrior Tom Hardy was fighting his brother, his estranged brother. Yeah. And then like, you know, I don't know. It's always like something.
That's a belter though, in fairness. That's a great movie.
It's a fucking great show. Tom Hardy can do no wrong for me, man. Apparently he's...
I don't know. Did you see Capone?
No, not yet. I'm avoiding it because apparently it's
hard to watch, man. It's just... It's like... It's one of those things where you kind of go... You can see why Tom Hardy... Not that I fucking know him. Like me and Big Tam were chatting. But like... It's the type of movie where you could see why he took it on as an actor. It's like, okay, we're making an Al Capone movie. Right, okay. But... It's none of the gangster stuff. It's just him being old as fucking dying.
Yeah.
And Tom Hardy's like, yes, I can do that. He's good in it.
Yeah.
But who gives a fuck about Al Capone dying of syphilis? You don't give it. You want like
you want the good shit.
You want the whole. I want him dead. I want his family dead. Like.
Yeah. It would have been like because the Irishman as well is obviously you see Frank Sheeran in his retirement home kind of towards the end of his life, and you're like, if that was just the Irishman, you'd be like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like,
Aye. I know.
This is bumming me out, to be honest. It's fucking
Yeah.
grim. I don't know, man. Like, Hardy's.
It's like the latest Rambo movie, exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, you're old as fuck, we know.
I hear that shite. I just seen the photo of like Rambo on a horse, and you're like,
Man, I watched, I think, 10 minutes of it, 15.
serious? And that's all?
And it was just pish. I don't know why it was the same as the Terminator Dark Fate.
Aye.
I just went, this is fucking shit. Like,
yeah.
there's something about when they shoot something like in Mexico that I'm just racist, I don't know. But I'm just like, this, it just doesn't look good. Like,
yeah, I see what you mean. It's so weird that like most of these franchises now, as technology gets better, they seem to get worse. Like you look at some of the stuff in Dark Fate's alright, but you look at like some of the more recent Alien and Predator stuff, and you're like, this looks shite. And back in the day, there was a guy with a fucking stick with like a tennis ball covered in fucking black stuff on it, and it
was
better.
bound to be cheaper.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for
you know what
sure.
I mean? Like, I was thinking like, the angriest I've ever been in a cinema was Prometheus.
Fair enough.
Like, I was fucking livid.
Yeah.
Because it's like Alien, like the first Alien 3, I think's a belter.
I like Alien 3. I do like it.
Alien's Resurrection isn't great, but it's not that bad.
It's like Friday night sort of Chinese and beer sort of thing.
If it's on, fuck it, I'll watch it. Like, but then, like, when you think of like when Predator 2, and then there's that quick shot of the fucking alien, like the skull on the wall of the spaceship.
Right. Yeah.
And I remember seeing that when I was a kid and being like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
And then they made those movies for, like, not for us.
Yeah.
So they should have if they had made those movies for the generation of people, or even made them by the generation of people who fucking loved them.
Yeah, exactly.
It would have been outstanding.
Yeah.
Because the bit you loved about Alien, and it's kind of like Ridley Scott, like it's the same as sort of Blade Runner carry on, the sweaty walls, like claustrophobic fucking condensation. You're like, you can smell that room watching it.
Yeah.
And then they get to a prequel, and it's like, oh, why? It just, the spaceship drives itself. And
it's incredible. There's Bluetooth.
Yeah. But then it's like, the spaceship's amazing, but they've got like guns from 2020.
It's dumb, man.
You know what I mean? Like, but you just wonder how the fuck did they like let those movies be made, have so much fucking fan lore come out of them?
Yeah.
Like, if you ever played an Aliens computer game, you knew everything about the fucking pulse rifle machine gun they used.
Yeah.
It had its own sound and everything.
Yeah.
And then they're like, give him a fucking, I don't know, World War II gun, fucking.
Spud gun, there you go.
Aye. Give him the gun from Jaws.
Yeah.
Like,
just give him a bow and arrow, it'll be alright.
But then you're like, it's Ridley Scott. Like, you made the first one, so why did you fuck it up? It's the same with James Cameron, like, being producer of the latest Terminator film. You're going, you made these amazing. And you're sitting by being like, do you watch Dark Fate?
I did watch it, yeah. And I thought...
But the bit where Sarah Connor goes, she's John. And I'm like, how thick do you think people are? We know you've rebooted it.
Yeah.
Don't, do you know what I mean? She's John. Suck my balls. It was cake.
It's too like, it's like spoon feeding you stuff, and it, like anybody who's going to see it has some knowledge. It's not as if like you're watching Dark Fate and then someone's going to be like, "Oh, fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger's in this." Happy days.
And here's another thing too: make the Terminator movie everybody wants to see, which is what's it like in the fucking future war?
Exactly.
With the wee pink 80s lasers that everybody wants to watch.
Yeah, exactly. These like the start of T2. That whole bit is still like, you're like, holy shit.
Aye.
And you never really see it.
I think there's a super cut on YouTube of like Terminator 1, the scenes from the future, and the same, like all just put together. It's maybe about fucking 8 minutes long.
Aye.
And you watch it and you go, I'm watching that again.
Yeah. It's
like, it was great.
That's a good point. It's weird that we haven't seen that like future like in a full film, because it'd be like if they did Saving Private Ryan, but there was no war in it.
Aye, but it was like when they made fucking I'm just showing a side of myself that nobody's seen before. I'm like, I fucking love sci-fi movies. But when they made that Terminator movie with Christian Bale in it and fucked that up as well, you're like, why is this a Transformers movie now?
Yeah,
like, this is supposed to be constantly at nighttime.
Yeah.
With robots that can't run, but they don't need it because they can shoot like fuck.
Yeah. like the best thing out of that film was Bale's leaked rant. The
Yeah.
guy, because I seen that. I remember going to the movie house in Dublin Road. I booked a ticket for the early showing on a Saturday morning. So it was like
Aye.
back when they used to do that. So it was like 9:10 in the morning. I was like, fucking going to see this because Terminator 3. Actually, looking back, is actually quite strong now compared to the shite that came after.
Compared it, yeah.
It's actually all right. But I was like you with Prometheus. I was livid. You know, I was just watching Bale shout. You know what I mean? That was basically it. There was no real. Didn't feel like a Terminator film at all. The same way like you watch Prometheus and you're like, oh, Michael Fassbender is fucking a lava lamp that speaks basically throughout the whole film. Idris Elba is wasted. Charlize Theron doesn't even get the anus out. You're like, why am I watching this?
But even in Prometheus, when the spaceship falls on your woman, you're like, why can't she turn left?
Zoolander.
All of a sudden, she's Zoolander. Like,
I rewatched that.
She's running like that, and all she has to do is go.
Fuck, jeez. Have you ever walked
I also
out?
remember like, at the end of Prometheus when the alien comes out and it looks cute.
Aye, fucking Grogu.
It looked like. Do you remember Dinosaur Babies, the cartoon?
Oh yeah.
It looked like a wee pterodactyl from that. Like,
yeah. I have to
I
say,
was like, that's adorable.
it's fucking grim now that like most of these good franchises, there's more bad than good. Terminator,
Aye.
like there's two good ones. They're like obviously two amazing. Alien, mostly bad. Fucking Predator mostly mostly. I don't mind Predator 2. I don't actually mind it that much.
Predator 2's alright. Predators is alright, I think.
It's okay.
I was like, that's a good wee kind of fucking, oh, okay, we fan made this.
Yeah.
And then you get like Aliens versus Predator. Both are fucking pish.
They're so bad.
Like the second Alien versus Predator, the bit where they go into a fucking maternity ward and there's just dead women where their babies have become aliens and it's so bad you don't care.
It serves you right. I like.
You know what I mean? Like,
I watched it. Funny enough, weirdly enough, over the weekend, I watched the Alien versus Predator Requiem, and it was like, there's obviously they're the aliens and predators are mostly in the sewers, so we need to figure out a way to get the humans in the sewers. So this guy is like a pizza delivery driver, delivers to this bird who wants to fuck him. And like her boyfriends are going, you're a dick. They throw his keys down the grating, and you're like, oh jeez, and that's how him and his brother be like, oh, welcome back. I'll help you find your keys. Fuck's sake.
It really is bad. Like,
it's so dumb.
But it was like, it was kind of like, because it's the same sort of like, it's like they took the Resident Evil movies. So like the Resident Evil games are obviously fucking amazing.
Yeah.
The first movie's all right. And then the second movie, you're like, oh, this is absolute pish. And it's like they basically, to me, they use the same set.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, okay, you're in a small town. It's so cut off from everywhere.
Yeah.
That the aliens are just in this small town. Like, not one alien went, fuck, what's over there? Like,
no alien.
I don't even think I finished that movie. I might have to watch it tonight.
Yeah. Have you ever walked out of the cinema because of something being so bad?
I've walked out of, and again, a sequel, Queen of the Damned.
I've never seen it. Lisa quite likes that film, but I've never seen it.
I've heard Interview the Vampire. It's fucking shit.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either, to be fair.
Walked out of that. Did I walk out of Prometheus? I might have done.
Really?
Yeah.
I was angry watching it, but I think I did stick through it. But again, like there's sometimes like you can leave because of the film, and then sometimes, you know, if you try and go on a weekend and it's full of Wayans that sneak into the screenings and stuff, and you're like, I actually want to fucking kill myself here. Like,
do you know what? I wanted to walk out of Solo, but I couldn't because I was over in Newcastle doing the stand, and I booked it again like 11 o'clock on a Saturday morning. I booked in to go see it, but it was in one of those, like the 4DX, like where the seat moves and it sprays shit at you.
I have done that before, yeah.
And I didn't know I'd done it, but I wanted to get up and walk out, but I couldn't because the seat kept fucking moving. I was like, I'm going to get knocked out, so I'll just sit here and watch this shit. Like,
fucking hell. It's like, I miss the cinema now, but there's nothing worse than when you go and it's just full of wankers that just like, you know, like I went to see It, and I was like, it's scary enough in bits, but see when you go with a load of kids and they're like proper like convulsing, you're like, fuck up. Do you know what I mean? No need for it.
The weirdest thing that ever happened to me in the cinema was I was over doing TFI Friday warm-ups.
Oh, hi, that's right, yeah.
And basically it was like I would fly to London at like 7 o'clock on a Friday morning.
Yeah.
And then have 12 hours to kill in London.
Yeah.
in December, so it was fucking freezing. And like all my mates that lived there were at work and stuff, so I couldn't be like, here, I'll just get to your house for say 11.
Yeah.
You can fuck off, and I'll just sit and eat, drink your milk. Uh, so I used to go to the same cinema in like was it Clapham, somewhere like that. And I went in to watch the last Hunger Games movie.
Right.
Right, but I was only going in to sleep. Like I was literally going to the cinema to fucking fall asleep.
Yeah.
So I'd go and get a bottle of water. I'd pick a seat miles away from anybody. Fucking flip my coat back to front, like fucking out before the trailers, right? But I woke up like 3 or 4 times during the Hunger Games movie, and every time I woke up, Jennifer Lawrence was like in a hospital bed going, Peter, Peter. And at one point I went, how long have I been in here? Like, I've slept through this twice and nobody's woke me up. Like, is there another fucking shower of shite? I can't believe anybody watched them.
I know. Do you know what I was talking about that? And then do you remember do you remember the fellow who was in the In-Betweeners movie and he was like a rep and he was a dickhead and then he snorts, he's got shite in his nose.
Aye.
That guy, he was in like Divergent, Allegiant.
I haven't seen. Are they good?
No, mate. Fuck.
Oh, really?
And again, it's kind of like this dystopian thing where it was like, depending on your gene pool, you were allowed to live or some stupid shite. Where it was like, if you were left-handed, you're done. We're killing you.
Aye,
We're getting drones to stab you in the night.
That's just Donegal in 1994.
fucking what? Get an exorcist.
That's it. It's written with the wrong hand, sir.
Oh, I miss like just thinking about like wee places like that. You know, like when supposed to when you're like doing stand up a long time, but when you first start out, just going to like this Lord of the Rings style tour of places that'll give you stage time. So you're doing gigs in like Kirkcaldy, and do you remember the gig we did in Muff in that hotel in Muff when I was first starting? And I was doing that. Do you remember that fucking again a bit that I can't believe I ever did, that whole Cotton Eye Joe thing I used to do? Do you remember that fucking bullshit? Or no. I used to talk about how wouldn't the X Factor be great instead of playing like the big atmospheric trailer music when the judges are introduced, that they just played Cotton Eye Joe, and I just played it before. But I had to hold it to the mic when we fucking Sony Ericsson flip up beep. Wouldn't this be funny?
Everybody had a bit to play on their phone at some point. Like,
yeah,
we were all like, "Man, this is the way to do it."
Oh, see that, and then the always see my first gig, like the first time I had sex, and the bit where like I was going to write a joke about procrastinating, but I didn't get around it, or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Always.
And that, and see, I was doing a fucking. I can't remember. This is cocky. This is not even cocky. This is stupid. Me and Katie did like a stand-up workshop on Zoom.
Right. Things about Prometheus, right? It's fucking.
There's still spaces available for Wednesday night if anybody wants to.
Yeah. Link below.
Yeah, and somebody was like, "What things do you hate most?" When you see like new comedians, and I hope this isn't like the first time I had sex. Is I straight away I go, "This cunt is dying."
Yeah.
Because everybody did it. Like everyone had the same joke.
Yeah.
That and see let me move this mic stand out of the way.
Yeah.
It's the oldest joke in the world. If somebody's fat and they're like, let me move fucking Posh Spice out of the way here.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, man, please don't. Or it's great to be here because I'm from insert town, so it's great to be anywhere.
Yeah.
Because it works every fucking time, and it's like it's just been done to death.
Yeah. See that's the thing. They still work. So like I was doing it that first year. I still had like. I was still like, oh, I'm from Strabane, so it's nice to be here. And then like you kind of develop it out. We were like, it's nice to go abroad and stuff.
I was the same. I was doing those fucking shite Bruce Lee jokes for 2 years. Like
that's the what and all.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That was 2 years, maybe more.
Yeah.
Like it's still heck as fuck that I start a show with you. What's up, motherfuckers? I don't talk like that, but I don't know how else to start.
I don't think anybody does. Honestly, who was I speaking to? I don't think any of us really do. I think we know our first bit. But
yeah,
most of the time having a natural way beyond the obvious to get into it. Like that's why I started just saying hello as boring as possible to lead into like the whole accent bit. But like I don't think anybody really 100% knows. To be honest,
I've got this false sense of confidence. The fact that I go, yeah, what's up, motherfuckers, even though it's absolutely shite, and I'm like, but I've stuck with it long enough that now it isn't. Convince myself of it.
It's like when you build a cabinet from IKEA and you're like, it's not quite there, but it'll do the job. And then 5 years later, you're like, some fucking cabinet there, by. Fucking
That's it. Like you
staying
set a
power.
picture frame on it, doesn't fall. You go,
That brown
that's your
tape
old man
done
there.
well.
That's your old Uncle Mick.
I'm here for
Fucking,
thinking.
that's it. That DIY Bartlett, they called me back in the day. Do
I can't.
anything.
Fuck, I can't even testify to that. Like my dad's fridge broke, and then he was like, "Don't worry about it though. In the meantime, I've got milk and butter in a shoebox out in the garden."
Fucking hell. Man, I like at 34 years of age, I realized recently I don't know how to work a lawnmower.
Do you not just do you not just yank it? Is that old
There's
school?
extra shit on the one my dad. There's extra stuff on it. There's a wee thing you have to. I don't know, but
Hair
I watched
straighteners?
my dad cut the grass, and I just go, "That looks like a giant pain in the hole," and you're excited about doing it.
Yeah. I don't know, like, you don't see it anymore, but like, do you used to have lads that would just come around with a lawnmower and be like, we'll
I
cut your
do your
grass for a
garden.
tenner? And like, you don't see that
I
anymore where they're like, now we're just going to get full instead.
but I watch my dad like when the summer starts to come in, like looking out. I'm here to cut the grass, and he's excited about it.
Yeah.
Like he just loves cutting grass all day. And I'm like, all the men like in our fucking street are like cutting the grass. Oh, I fucking love it. And I'm like, what the fuck? I hope that never happens to me.
Yeah.
like,
It's like with the way
like
women,
imagine me cutting the grass 10 years, like when I'm in my 40s or 50s, going, tell you what, that's the kind of line I used to cut that line.
oh, like the way men just sort of gather during things like that. It's like women with newborn babies. It's like
Aye.
men with like appliances. We're like what sort of weight's that? And you know, what I mean? Good going, is it?
That's a good lathe.
How long did that fucking take you to get? And just doing a good job there, mate. I don't know. It's fucking. I miss wee things like that. Just growing up in a dump, you know, and just when we lads would come around, like we had people who come around, cut the grass. Then we had like people selling sofas, and you never knew where they got them. No, again, like my dad probably take it now because even like that fucking fridge thing, that was such a melt. Where I was like, I'll go to Argos and get you a fridge here, and he was like an old school Northern Irish guy. He was like, okay, but don't tell them that it's urgent. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, don't let them know that I need it because they'll bump up the price. And I was like, it's Argos. It's not a Russian guy around the corner. He's like, don't tell them it's urgent now. I've got that Converse box there with milk and fucking butter. Don't tell them it's urgent now because then they'll bump up the
Like you go into Argos and they're like, number 24, and you walk up to go, how bad do you need this?
You entertaining anytime soon, are you?
Oh, you want to get a fucking fridge up with this one up?
Oh, fuck. Man, it's fucking...
You got to kick me back your 20%. You want this today, motherfucker.
He was like, honestly, like, no, just they'll bump up the price and stuff. And I was like, you'll be all right, sir. You know, like, he's like,
Aye.
he's using the shoebox as a fridge for a while, and then his old Zimmer frame. Now he can walk again. He's using that as a air for like drying clothes. He uses that.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea,
It's
man.
not a
That
bad
is,
idea.
in fairness, that's fucking, that man's thinking.
Up there for thinking, down there for
Fucking
stroking.
right. Because like a clothes horse will fall down. You have to fuck about with it. But a Zimmer frame, just fuck, yeah, I respect that.
I think in my dad's case, it's like this side for thinking. A bad
Fucking
bastard.
stroke of genius.
Stroke him on, there you go. Oh man, here I'll let you go, man. But I enjoyed just chatting about fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. I've said check out some of his audio commentaries.
I mean, I think that's what we're going to do tonight, actually, because I drank that whole pot of coffee, so I'm not going to be fucking sleeping.
They should still be on there, but it's honestly like if Arnold Schwarzenegger was on Catchphrase, just say what you see, where he's just like, yeah,
amazing, man.
I am sitting down and Sharon Stone, she plays my wife, but she's not really my wife. And it's like, doesn't she look well in her workout outfit? She's pumping on. The most, but like again, I just want him to commentate every other film of all time where he's trying to escape to jail by making a hole in the wall.
Here I am, friends with the fat man who was later plays Joey Tribbiani's father.
Father. I'm just trying to think of fucking really serious films that Arnold Schwarzenegger could commentate to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The wind shakes the barley.
I just imagine the first time I saw Andy Dufresne. I thought he was a tall drink of water.
Here we have Alan Rickman playing Eamon de Valera.
If you look closely, you will see on the T-shirt he has written the words, "Now I have a machine gun."
This is Arnold Schwarzenegger watching Dairy Girls. That'd be amazing.
I don't understand.
Even Arnie just trying to say the lead girl's name, Saoirse Monica Jackson. You know what I mean? That'll be a character name for him in like fucking Godzilla versus Terminator sequel. My name is Saoirse. How would he say it? Saoirse. Saoirse Monica Jackson. What a rip. Anyway, man, thanks again for coming on. Lovely to speak to you.
Anytime, sure, anytime.
We'll do it.
Hopefully we'll get a pint when this is all over.
Oh, fingers crossed. You never know. We'll get to the Galgorm yet.
That's it. Hearts broke.
So where can people get the Ulster Hall tickets? Just Ulster Hall website? I know it's done.
Ulster Hall website, yeah. So the dates are being rescheduled until September this year. And I think we're going to be putting on another night as well, though. So follow me on Instagram.
You get all the dates. Cool. We'll do a fake goodbye, sure, and I'll let you bounce on. Cheers again, babe.
Cheers.
Appreciate it. Thank you.